Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is another week of the PPL. We are in full swing. It's been so much fun so far, and I'm just, it's been a great time. This is week 3 of the PPL. I want to say there are 9 weeks in total, so we're at it still feels early in the season, but we're making progress and stuff. And yeah, what more to say about that besides our opponent is, you might have heard of this guy. His name is ShroomRaver. He's like an OG PPL player. Like, I want to say from even the very first season ever in the world. So one of the OG draft players, super cool to be able to play him. We've shit posted with each other on Twitter before, but this is the first time we're actually battling. So that's awesome. What else? He has a team that's called Parasect Germain, and that team consists of a lot of scary stuff. Well, I mean, every team is scary because for 10 people with such a large draft pool, of course everything is going to be ridiculous and dumb, and I've got a ridiculous and dumb team. But let's check out what we have to prep for against Shroom, because let's also not forget that Shroom is a super good player and was like a champion of PPL back in the day. Although, he's been in D2 for a while now, but, the level of competition has just grown even more in D2 these days, and wow. Okay, so scary opponent with a scary team, and this is why. Okay, Zero Aura. I remember this one time, the last time I played against it, I got 6-0'd by the team and it never even hit the field. And yeah, it's a really scary Pokemon. He's got Mew, which is the first round pick that he got round 2. He's got Porygon 2, which is ridiculous and scary and dumb, and I don't like it. Heatran, Sandslash, Primarina, Delmise, Scolipede, Noivern, and Zangoose. So yeah, that's his team. Obviously Zero Aura is like the prominent threat. Mew is also there, which is just like, ow. What Mew can do literally anything. Porygon 2 takes hits for days. Choice Specs Primarina has like 0 switch-ins. Scolipede is super tough to deal with. Noivern is kind of annoying. Heatran can do a variety of things, and Zangoose, if you under prep for it, just demolishes you. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm gonna go over what I'm bringing, starting out with Gashunk, my Garchomp. It's a Choice Scarf set, but I am running the rocks on it just in case I get a chance to bring it up. His team has exactly 1 ground immunity, and that is Noivern. Otherwise, Garchomp runs through it. I donk Zero Aura, which for one thing, that's what my speed is for, is to outspeed Zero Aura. So I donk that. I donk Heatran if it's not Air Balloon, but the idea is to get a little bit of prior damage on everything. I donk Heatran. I donk Scolipede before I can grab a speed boost. I do a fair amount of damage to the Mew. Porygon 2, of course, can take hits for days. I think Delmise resists me, but I don't really see that coming at all. I also have Outrage because his only fairy is Primarina, and you will see in a moment I do have a fair bit of things to take care of that. So yeah, Garchomp is potentially a cleanup crew, and it can also just do just a ton of damage to him mid-game, because like I said, only 1 ground immunity, which means Garchomp has fun. Okay, next up, Lycanroc. Woo! I am bringing, pretty standard set, Z-moves, Swords Dance, Stone Edge, Excel Rock, Crunch, etc. I really, really need this thing because of his Scolipede. If Scolipede starts to set up and it's just oh no, I need the Excel Rock to just get out of there. Just go, bye. No, don't ever talk to me or my pet Lycanroc ever again. Lycanroc can also clean up his team. His resistances to Stone Edge are very, very limited. And basically between Stone Edge, +2 Stone Edge, just yum. It eats everything for breakfast. I want to say it's Delmise resists that, and Sandslash. No, I don't know if Sandslash does, but Primarina, I think. Well, it can take a hit from Lycanroc anyway. I'm also bringing Crunch as my coverage move in case of defensive Mew, which otherwise defensive Mew is extremely annoying for me. I found, like, if he brings any other kind of Mew set, it's like, what are you doing? Like, that thing can single-handedly just, like, annoy my entire team into just, like, eternal doom and suffering. So I need the coverage to hit Mew. Yeah, like, come on. Next up is Roserade. The Queen of Thorns is coming again. This is such a good Pokemon that I really like using as often as I can. And what's it? This thing has a purpose, and that purpose is to check Primarina. You will see that I am Spadef this game, running Spadef with a fair amount of speed. That speed mark right there is pretty important. I want to say that it outspeeds, what is it, like, Primarina? It outspeeds something. Giga Drain and Sledge Bomb, you know, stab are great. I'm probably going to be leading this to get a spike up because there's not a whole lot that wants to stay in versus me. I could spook the Heatran with a Technician, Hidden Power, Ground, but I just realized I shouldn't be Technician, I should be Natural Cure. Because another thing is I have the Sleep Powder. If Mew switches in on me, I am going to put it to sleep. That's just the best course of action. And, you know, Synchronize, I get put to sleep, but joke's on you, I switch out. And then, you know, Porygon 2 getting T-Waves and Toxics on things. I want to have a good sponge to absorb status, even if I can't hit things like Porygon 2 or Mew back really hard. But, you know, Lycanroc can hit them decently. Like I said, Roserade takes lots of special hits. I am bringing Emboar once again, Notorious PIG. You may recall how great of a job it did in my week 1 battle, and then it didn't come week 2. And, you know, it's just a really good Pokemon. So I'm bringing an interesting set. I'm actually bringing a Sub-Punch set. So here's my thought process on this. It's a bit spicy, and I think it's kind of awesome, but here's the deal with that. So you see Porygon 2, right? I can tank hits from it for days. Unless it, like, Emboar is a really bulky Pokemon, and Porygon 2 is probably just going to have, like, Recover, what is it, some kind of status, and then like Bolt Beam. It might run Psychic. Like, it's good against the likes of Roserade and Emboar. I mean, I do have my Honchkrow, but this is meant to set up a sub against something like the Porygon, or even the Mew, if it is a defensive Mew, because, like I said, Psychic coverage might not be the greatest for me. This speed stat right here, that is actually the speed I believe is to outspeed Porygon 2. Like, yeah, this outspeeds Porygon 2 100% of the time. Also, reasoning behind Roserade with that. So I set up a sub, and then it can't break my sub with Bolt Beam, and then I donk it with a Focus Punch. Unfortunately, my team doesn't get knockoff coverage, except for Pinsir, but Pinsir had a pretty terrible matchup in my opinion this game. So I just wanted a set that can just, like, do damage to Porygon. It can also, like, okay, if Primarina, well, no, I can't take hits from Primarina that easily, but I can get it in, spook it with a Wild Charge, which does KO. And, you know, I'd take a ton of recoil, but the point is, get a sub up with Emboar, and even though there are quite a few fast things, there are a lot of slow things. Like, I force out Dhelmise, I force out Zangoose, I probably will force out Porygon, so if he switches into one of his faster things, like maybe Noivern expects that it can't take a hit, or I also outspeed Sandslash, but, you know, that does get EQ. So Emboar can potentially, like, pick up a kill or two. I just want it to get rid of a couple of annoying things and help wear down his team. And, you know, it would be great to get off a Focus Punch. I was thinking about doing, like, a Flame Charge, but it's just, what's the point? And when Flare Blitz just does so much more damage. And, yeah. I am, of course, going with 204 if he chooses to bring Seismic Toss on his Mew, which, yeah, if he brings a defensive Mew, the best set, in my opinion, that he could bring is, like, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, Seismic Toss, and then, like, another stat. It could be, like, dual status, like Will-O-Wisp Thunderwave. It could be, like, it could actually carry Psychic, or it could, you know, carry Defog even. because yeah, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be setting up spikes with Rose. Honchkrow. No, that should be actually. Do I want to be Insomnia? Honestly, like, he doesn't really have much that can put things to sleep, so I think I'm just gonna go with Super Luck because okay, this is a special Honchkrow set because, like I said, with the defensive Mew, it might be a Will-O-Wisp. Honchkrow has to be my switch into Mew because yeah, it does pretty good damage against it. So Nasty Plot, Roost, Dark Pulse, and Icy Wind. Icy Wind just because it's probably one of those moves where people don't realize that Honchkrow gets it. And it's like, surprise Noivern, I'm hitting you with an Icy Wind. Surprise Sand Slash, I'm doing damage to you and you can't hit me back with an EQ. It's like, oh, Heatran, you thought you could switch in on me and force me out. Surprise, you're slow, and now I can, you know, get in the upper hand. It's just one of those could surprise. And then, like, you know, Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, it's like, not... Dark Spam is so great. Like, I love Dark Spam. So yeah, this is my main, like, switch into the Mew, just because it'll probably try to Will-O-Wisp me while I get a Nasty Plot, and then, yeah, it's... I've just, like... Against teams that have Honchkrow, it's like Nasty Plot has always been the biggest threat in my opinion. Honchkrow's speed does let it down, but you know, 71, it's okay, but speed does kind of let it down. It's usually forced into the Scarf rule, but I don't want to bring dual Scarfers this week, so yeah. And lastly, I have my Suicune, the Surfboard, and so I was thinking to myself, what the crap can I do against Zeraora that's, you know, what kind of defensive check can I have to it? And then I was also thinking, like, what on his team wants to take a Scald? And the answer is nothing. Like, I mean, yeah, Zangoose could probably be Guts if it comes. Scolipede doesn't want to risk getting burned. Dhelmise, yeah, it could tank that, but again, doesn't want to get burned. Heatran, I hit it pretty good. Sandslash, I hit it pretty good. Zeraora, like, does not want to get burned. And, okay, the Wakanberry is just so... Plasma Fists like do very, very little to me, while I can roar if he's like bulk up, rest talk, because, you know, that's Suicune's best way of recovery because I'm not bringing leftovers, and Scald is really annoying for his team. I just needed like more defensive stuff on my team. I thought about defensive Jirachi, but that just has such a poor matchup against his team. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna build a set for Suicune that works, and this one I think is going to do pretty good because Heatran can't really touch me, Sandslash can't touch me, unless Scolipede is like Swords Dance, like Mega Horn kind of stuff. It can't do a lot to me. There's not a lot that I can do to Suicune except the Zeraora, and you know, Wakanberry, I Scalded, roll for the burn, rest up. It's just going to be really annoying for him, and then if I see that he's stuck into that, I can just go into Garchomp and clean up. So yeah, I've got quite a few things that are annoying for him, that being the Suicune, that being the Roserade, Honchkrow potentially, Emboar hoping to get some big damage on some of his slower threats, and then Garchomp and Lycanroc together can like clean up the game. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's like after the SD, between like whatever is faster than me, Accelerock bops it. Like, +2 Accelerock, by Scolipede, by Noivern. If Zera's at like 70% health, which that's how much a Scald does, like a Scald will do like 30% to it. So yeah, Lycanroc is cleanup crew, basically. Anyway, I've been rambling on for quite a while for this battle. It's no longer my usual team builder, so I'm gonna call it a video. I'm going to, yeah, battle's gonna be going up tomorrow. And yeah, if you liked the video, liked it. If you're new or just generally excited for PPL content, subscribe, comment down below if you got anything to say, and otherwise I will see everyone in the next video. Take care now. Bye bye.